Before we get tonight's video up and running, I would just like to remind you to vote DB30 Sports TV in the upcoming Football Content Awards in the Best in Non-League Video category. The link for which is provided in the description below. So all your votes would be greatly appreciated. Let's get this thing won. Yes, hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Not one I was hoping to have to make, or certainly not anytime soon anyway, but I'm sure you've all seen the news by now that Rob Elliot, Lewis Story and Anthony Sweeney have all departed Gateshead to take up the vacant position at League One. Crawley Town, and I'm not gonna lie, it is an extra. It's a sad day. It's disappointing news from Gateshead's perspective, but I think what I can say is that even in a really short space of time, they've certainly merited their chance to manage at a League One level, and honest to God, I really hope it works out for them, because not only are they great managers, coaches or whatever, but above all else, they're really great guys. I really must say that, and really can't thank all of them enough for what they've given to Gateshead Football Club. I mean, Christ, in May we were enjoying quite possibly what most definitely is the best day I've ever had at football, when we won at Wembley. So those memories you just simply cannot take away. And as I said, all the best, lads. Like, you really deserve the chance to test yourselves at League One level. But I suppose now the question for us is, where do Gateshead go from here? Well, as of yesterday's news, the club is being temporarily overseen by Greg Ollie, Jacob Butterfield, and with Ben Clark as a sort of figurehead interim managers within the matchday environment. I believe Butterfield and Ollie are taking in training, what have you. So it is good to see Greg Ollie getting back involved. Obviously, he's had that horrific injury, but to have him sort of in and around the first team again can only be a good thing. Obviously, Jacob Butterfield signed in the summer. They've got an absolute wealth of experience, and Ben Clark to sort of lead us on a match day. If there's anyone who knows more than anyone else about Gateshead's ability to sort of come through adversity even stronger, it is Ben Clark. Obviously, he was the manager for the second half of the infamous Joe Collar season. Did a great job under ridiculous circumstances. Players have been sold behind his back. Players not been paid on time. No pre-match meals. Finishing the season with 14 players, like several of them playing through injuries. There's just, the list could just go on and on. Obviously, Bean was a great captain for the club. He's sort of coached the under 19s. So a person that's very well liked and well respected part of the club. But I am obviously led to believe that, unlike when Rob Elliot took over from Mike Williamson, it's going to be slightly different this time, and this isn't going to this won't be a permanent fix regardless. I think Clarkey's sort of more focused on his other commitments, like sort of working for the foundation and with his community work and that sort of thing. So I think for the time being, it was obviously important to get people sort of leading the way that know the players, that know the club, that sort of know how sort of things tick on a day-to-day basis, just to get that sort of transition and make it as seamless as possible. But I mean, it would have been all well and good just going straight in for a Neil Ardley, a Chris Beach, or a Paul Simpson, or someone like that. But I think you just got to settle everyone down. The news did come as a shock to us all, but ultimately we do have to move on now. But yeah, I think like given what's been achieved over the last few years or so, the squad that a potential new manager is going to inherit, I certainly don't think there'll be a shortage of interest. Like there's been several names thrown around already. Kevin Phillips has been quite a notable one. Steve Watson, I know he's manager of Darlington, but obviously had his first managerial job with Gateshead. Did a great job again under quite sort of severe circumstances, especially in the second season before he did eventually depart to take the York City job. Yeah, Pete Wild did a great job with Halifax, did a great job with Barrow, but I think again that's possibly a question of would he be willing to do the commute up from Manchester? Like, can we afford him? Like, would his style and his philosophies like suit us? So there's a few questions around that one. I guess you could say the same about Jonathan Green, and obviously he's done a really good job with Scarborough. Yeah, but again, would he do that commute? I think he lives in York, so would he do the commute up to Gateshead a few times a week? But I think one sort of manager I wouldn't mind seeing us get is Craig Mann, who's currently at Kerrs National. I believe he's in a player manager role, so if he was to come to us, would he give that up just to focus solely on the management? But I think again, Curzon, a little bit like us, they're a club that have perhaps overachieved over the last few years or so. They're currently sitting in third in the National League North table. They got into the playoffs last season. I think only lost on penalties in those playoffs. So he's done a terrific job there, and he's someone that we could potentially be seen as the next steps for him. I mean, no disrespect to Kerrs National on that. I do quite like them as a club. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks to say the least as regards to who comes in and what the next step is. But I think it is important that we just accept that the new manager is probably going to have some big shoes to fill, but at the same time will maybe want to implement his own ideas. So maybe there'll be changes to the style of play, and like it might not exactly click overnight, but I think what we've always done is given like managers a chance since obviously we came out of the Joe Calla situation. Like it was Mike Williamson had a few ropey results at first, but obviously went on to achieve many great things. Rob Elliot had a bit of a sort of sticky start when he took over in October last year, but eventually he really got it right. So I've got confidence in the players that they will remain professional. Like watching week in week out, there's still a lot of talent within that squad, a lot of professionalism, and a huge sort of will to do what's best for this football club while they're here. And that's the same with just about everyone at the football club. So yeah, I'm 99% sure it will be Clarkey, Greggy, and Jacob Butterfield taking the reins on this Saturday against Wealdstone, and probably next Tuesday away to Tamworth. But from there, we'll just see what's what. But obviously, I know. Obviously, I think Clarkey said in an interview today that he is willing to sort of take the reins on match days for as long as it needs. But yeah, hopefully we'll get somewhere soon. But as we said, this football club always does just seem to find a way through adversity, and I'm pretty confident we can do the same again and kick on from there. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back on Friday night with Northallerton Town versus Redcar Lake. So really looking forward to that one, actually. Redcar absolutely flying at the minute, scoring goals for fun, but one thing you can always guarantee with Northallerton is they will work hard, and they certainly won't make things easy. So check back on Friday night to find out the outcome of that one. But until then, take care, cheers for watching, see you later.